When I was in high school, I went camping in the mountains with 3 friends of mine. After we set up our tents, we set out to explore the area. After hiking for an hour, we were getting tired and the light was fading. It was almost time to turn back. Just then, we came across an old, weird-looking shack. Curious, we all decided to check it out. When I think about it now, I wish we had just left it alone and gone back to our campsite. The ramshackle hut was in a bad state of despair, and the wood was rotting away. One of my friends tried to open the door, but it was stuck fast. We all gave it a big pull and managed to force it open. Inside, the cabin was covered in dirt and rubbish was strewn about the floor. There was a chest of drawers, and beside it, there was a huge stack of dusty newspapers. It looked like nobody had lived there for a long time. While my friends were looking around the cabin, I picked up one of the newspapers. The date on the cover was 1961. I wondered who had been living in the cabin at that time. I shuffled through the newspapers until I came to the one at the bottom of the pile. There was an article on the front page that seemed familiar. I looked at the date of the newspaper and realized it had just came out a few days before. There was definitely still someone living in the cabin. I had an unpleasant feeling in the pit of my stomach. Just then, one of my friends exclaimed, "Wow, what's wrong?" I asked. When I opened the drawer, "These fell out," he said, pointing to a pile of black and white photos that were lying on a shelf. He handed around the photographs and we all flipped through them. At first I didn't know what I was looking at. There were pictures of 2 girls sitting on chairs. The photos seemed to have been taken in the cabin. However, when I looked closer, I noticed that both girls were bound and gagged. They had terrified expressions on their faces. "Oh my God," explained one of my friends. "This is too weird," I said. "Let's get out of here fast." We left the hut immediately and started the long walk back to our campsite. It was getting dark and we kept glancing over our shoulders, making sure nobody was following us. That night, none of us could sleep or wink. We lay awake in our tent and talked about the weird black and white photos we had seen. All of us were creeped out by them. "Maybe we should report them to the police," I suggested. "Let's just forget about everything that happened today," replied my friend. The others agreed. The next morning, we packed up our stuff and drove home. My friends dropped me off outside my house. My parents were away for the weekend. I carried my bag inside and went upstairs to take a shower. When I opened the door to my bedroom, I got the shock of my life. The walls were lined with black and white photos, the same black and white photos we had found in the shack, with a note that said, "Do not ever trespass in my territory again, or else."